Welcome back to another casted game on the public update preview featuring the Ottomans and the Malian civilizations. And I've got a very cool casted game for you today because we've got Beastie Cutie in the color yellow playing the Malians up against Casper in the red playing the French. Now, we've seen a bit of the Malians so far, and I mean a bit, I say we've seen quite a lot of them. And so far, they've been very, very good. They've been winning up against the Ottomans the majority of the time. And in general, pro players are feeling like these guys are one of the best civilizations we have ever seen in Age of Empires 4. The French, however, have also been a very good civilization. These guys are known for being very good in H2 with their Royal Knights, which is around the same time which the Malians have been peaking in games. Having the ability to make javelin throwers in H2 can be super nice for them. So we're gonna have to see how this game plays out, because a civilization up against another civilization that are both good in H2 certainly going to be interesting. And we can see Beastie going through a bit of an odd opening here. This is certainly an odd opening. I mean, we generally see players use straggler trees rather than building a lumber camp, but I guess this might be a little bit more efficient, especially if you're going to be going for a full, complete house boom here around your pit mine. So I guess it makes sense in that regard. You can see Beastie now has that pit mine up. He's going to be completing these houses, I would expect. I mean, there's no point in building a lumber camp if you're only going to be building a couple houses around here in H1. So I assume that is the reasoning behind this. Yeah, we can see he's already dropped down a couple more houses there. We'll take a look over at Casper. We don't really want to be focusing on Casper too much in the early stage of the game here, because we've watched the French before. We've seen the French and the way they like to play their builds. So I mean, yeah, everything here for Casper is pretty standard. 3 villagers on the gold, and then the rest onto the food. And I'd assume it's going to be the School of Cavalry. We've had no changes to the French in this update that significant, really. They've had a couple water changes. I mean, every city's had a water change, but about that's it. And Casper actually doing a little bit of idle here with a villager. He's bringing back those sheep a little bit earlier. And we can see Beastie over here. He's got all of his houses up. He can have a maximum of 7 on this gold pit, or this pit mine here, sorry. And then they're going to be finishing that off with a mining camp as well. So the mining camp also attributes to the gold income here. But it's also nice to get a mining camp, because you will want to eventually gather some gold from there. So pretty standard stuff so far from Beastie. I mean, a little bit adventurous with the lumber camp, but I guess it makes sense, especially if you're looking to completely house boom here, which we've seen a little bit. And then he's also got quite a few villagers onto the food right here. So I mean, it's a nah, not up against them. I was going to suggest maybe you could trade here, but there's zero way up against the French. Like their Royal Knights will just shred your traders. And I mean, the age up for the Malians is pretty rubbish anyway. The Mansa Quarry is the good one. So this gives 75 gold or stone per minute. He could have gone with the Toll Outpost, which generates gold for traders that walk past it. And it can defend up these trade posts pretty nicely. But I mean, it's not really worth it when you can just build a Toll Outpost from a villager for 100 wood. So it's going to be the Mansa Quarry. It makes sense. Now, I wonder if we're going to see Beastie going for multiple town centers this game. That is usually the approach up against the French. You kind of just want to turtle and maybe go for a second town center. That's at least how you play it for a lot of civilizations. So it's going to be interesting to see how Beastie reacts to what Casper's going to be doing, because it is going to be the School of Cavalry as expected. I assume we're going to have quite a lot of pressure on with those Royal Knights. However, the Malians do have something going for them. They do have the Donzo, which can throw their spear, and the spear acts as a normal spear. So it is going to be doing bonus damage up against knights and horsemen, which means Casper might be in some trouble here with his knights, especially if you can mass up these Donzos. Casper is going to be pushed away here with the 2 scouts, trying to burn down that house just a little bit, and Beastie is going to be going for that second town center. Now, this works really nicely for the Malians, because they can switch their Mansa Quarry to stone, which means you don't have to mine quite as much. Beastie almost doing a little bit of long distance mining right there. Does put it out just in time though. So it seems like Beastie's only going to be sticking with the 1 Donzo for now. It seems like he just built that just to try and deny off these scouts. We do have a second one in queue now. I mean, you probably just want a couple about, as we do see Casper already has that Royal Knight on the way. There it is. So Beastie definitely wants to get this stone gathering a little bit faster. You see, it's still a lot of stone away. He's also out here on the berries, so he's going to keep those Donzos nearby just in case. Scouts are going to be looking for any stray villagers. That Royal Knight is going to be on its way. We're going to have to see where Beastie goes for this second town center. I would expect it to be over here. Over here is a really nice spot. You can not only get your deer patch, you can get a second one. And then you can also expand out onto the gold there for your second pit mine. So that is the direction I expect him to go in. I mean, usually you put your second town center on your nearest deer patch. So we're going to have to see there. Beastie going to be gathering up a lot of stuff. You could probably pull all of these guys off now and just transition them over to wood. Because the Mansa Quarry is going to finish it off anyway. And we can see Beastie is going to be over gathering quite a bit here. We can see he's now going to be pulling them off. And he's going to be switching the Mansa Quarry back to gold, I expect. Unless he'll be going for 3 town centers, which, I mean, could work. Beastie going to be losing a villager here. It is going to be 3 shots to take this guy down. Yeah, there it goes. Lots of damage there onto the knight for Beastie, though. Casper does need to be careful with that scout on 1 HP surviving right there. Luckily for Casper. I mean, scout isn't too much of an issue, but this Royal Knight is really low. Might get another charge off onto the villager. Another knight comes in from the side as well. Beastie Cutie going to be losing a second villager here. And behind this, I would expect Casper to be going into a second town center as well. We'll take a quick look. There it is. The stone is being gathered up right now for Casper. And Beastie might be losing a second villager here. Villager's trying to target it down that knight right there. A nice throw there from the Donzo. If you can get off another couple of throws, that knight might be going down. Does it go down? Yes, it does. The Donzo warriors coming in clutch right there, taking out a knight. I mean, that just shows how good these Donzo warriors are compared to normal spearmen. I mean, that's some pretty crazy stuff, picking off those low HP knights right there. I mean, think about how much of an investment lost right there for Casper. It's 140 food and 100 gold. I mean, he could have grabbed chivalry and tried to heal that back up, but fortunately, the Donzos are there already. Second town center coming down from Casper now as well onto that deer patch. Take a quick look at the villager lead for Casper. He's 2 villagers ahead right now, which makes sense. He did kill 2 villagers. And Beastie Cutie is on that second town center. So Casper is going to be remaining at that. He's going to be keeping that lead. And he'll be increasing that more and more, especially as the French do train a little bit faster. So not only does he have the lead by killing villagers, but he is also producing them a little bit faster. 2 knights are out for Casper still. Still looking in a pretty decent position despite losing that knight. I think you should be able to get a couple nice raids off, possibly. Especially on these guys over here. I'm surprised Casper doesn't keep an eye on over here. I mean, this is the prime spot for Beastie Cutie to be expanding onto right now. I mean, there's not really much gold nearby, I guess. This one up north, but why would you go for that one when you can go for this one near home? So I'm surprised by Casper right there, but, you know, Beastie Cutie does have quite a massive Donzos here. A massive 5, which is pretty decent. You may be able to get a nice little volley out onto those Royal Knights. And you see, Casper is going to be sticking to the 2 town centers. And it looks like it's going to be a bit of an age 2 play here. We've got Royal Knights and then a double archery range as well. However, we've got a nice little raid here. However, this is what we don't actually have an archery range down for Beastie yet. But from the archery range, the Malians can produce the Javelin Thrower, which is an anti-archer unit. Which is, it's basically like a skirmish from Age of Empires 2. Which I find absolutely crazy. Like, in an Age 2, I don't understand Age 3. But Age 2 is absolutely crazy. So they're going to be doing really well up against the competition here. And look at the spearmen throwing their spears again onto that knight. Down to 41 HP right there. So I'd assume this is what we're going to be seeing from Beastie. It's going to be a mix of Donzos and Javelin Throwers. And we can see there we've already got one in the queue from this archery range. And they're going to be doing really well up against his archers. And then the Donzos can just work as a front line. And we can see there, look at the spears. They're rowing their spears onto the Royal Knights again, taking another one out. I mean, Beastie Cutie's really got its value worth out of these throwing spears. Donzos also can do pretty well up against archers when they're up against them real close like this. I mean, definitely not a fight that either player probably wants to be taking right there. Another nice volley onto the spears right there. Donzos needs to brace. They need to brace. Oh, nice hit by Casper right there. Didn't take any bracing, and Beastie's forgotten to wall this up. He's been too busy building this gate, and I think the knights are going to get through here. The archers take down the villager, and this wall is very low, 92 HP. It's going to be going down, and the Donzos aren't going to be up here. There is quite a massive archers, and they're going to be taking these out in 2-shot, I think. Back in the base, we do have a little bit of a massive javelin throws here. We got 2, and we got more on the way, as we do have a double archery range right now. A second barracks being dropped down as well. More Donzos are going to be required here, because javelin throwers are absolute trash versus these royal knights. So Beastie needs to make sure he has enough Donzos. And this might be a nice raid for Casper. That's going to be another villager going down if Beastie's not careful. We see another royal knight is going to be going down there to the spearmen throwing their spears. And Casper might be losing another knight here as well. I mean, javelin throwers right now doing quite a bit of damage onto those archers. And Donzo's just going to be pushing away those knights. Beastie taking pretty efficient trades right now. And these units for Beastie are pretty cheap. I mean, we take a look at the price here. 60 food, 30 wood. And if for a javelin thrower, 80 food, 40 gold. I mean, the javelin throwers are relatively expensive. But he hasn't lost any of those so far. And it's just the Donzos that he's been trading against. I mean, Donzos versus Royal Knights is definitely a better trade for Beastie Cutie. Now we've got another blacksmith, or another barracks and a blacksmith coming down. So it looks like Beastie is going to be committing to the H3 play here. He's got a bit of a cattle boom, sorry, coming through as well. I mean, you may as well spend that extra gold. He's got a ton of villagers on gold here. So maybe this is the play up against the French. I mean, this seems to be working pretty well. You can keep a bit of an economic advantage with these pit mines and also the cattle without having to go for that third town center, as pretty much every other civilization would have to. Casper's going to be wrapping around here. He's got 3 royal knights and 14 archers, so going really heavy with the archers. But we can see here, we've got 12 javelin throwers from Beastie Cutie, and these javelin throwers are going to be doing really well up against the archers. We're going to have to see if Beastie decides to grab any Cavin as well. I mean, some sofas here might be quite nice. We see a nice little javelin throw coming in right there. Knight on 1 HP. Just see how much damage those Donzos do when they throw their spears. These javelin throwers are going to be able to one-shot knights. One-shot archers, sorry. And Donzo's here. Donzo mass not looking too good for Beastie at all. And once those go down, the Royal Knights are going to be having a field day here on the javelin throwers. We can see how much damage those knights do onto the javelins. More Donzos making their own to the battlefield. Casper looking pretty decent here. I mean, he definitely doesn't want to be losing these knights. The knights are an expensive thing to lose, but right now, Beastie is being idled here on the deer patch. Still got a decent massive javelin throws. It's really the Donzos who need to start smashing up more. He does have 3 barracks down, but he's got a bit of an issue right now with food. He's stacking up so much stone and wood right now. Is he going to be going for a third town center? I mean, with all of this stone in the bag, what is he doing with this stone? Where is he getting? I think it's still here. Yeah, it's still the Mansa Quarry. Definitely interesting as to why he still got it on stone. I mean, that could have been 600 gold right there, which could have been invested into cattle or even some upgrades. But Beastie looking pretty decent here, managing to hold back. 7 Donzos, 15 javelins still alive. The mass for Casper is still looking pretty decent, and right now Beastie is just walling up the entire map, which is pretty nice for Casper. He can move out onto the deer right here. Really take advantage of the map control right now. He's also on the boar over here as well. We'll take a quick look at the village count. Beastie Cutie on 60 villagers compared to Casper's 65. So still pretty equal. And behind this, Beastie is also on 2 pit mines and also doing a bit of a cattle boom. And we can see how he's setting up these cattle right now. It's perfect for the H3 landmark to sit right here and buff up all of these cattle, giving an extra 20 food per minute. There's no other reason why he would build it like this. So that is what I expect to be the H3 landmark to be for Beastie. We'll take a look at his resource count. It's still going to be a little while till he ages up. I think he's finally switched his... He still hasn't switched his Mansa Quarry. But it's still going to be a little while before he ages up. But, you know, always preparing for the future is a good idea. And Beastie's also starting to invest into some Some nice towers here. Casper's going to get a nice little villager pick right here. The walls are not going to be complete over there. But Casper, he needs to be careful over here as well. He's got no sort of cavalry mass to deal with these javelin throwers over here. So Casper is going to have to retreat. Beastie can pull another villager to finally finish off that wall. Beastie looking pretty decent here. I mean, 18 javelin throwers up against how many archers for Casper? 20. I mean, that's definitely going to be a favorable fight for Beastie. And now this could be pretty bad for Casper. We got 7 villagers over here. They're going to be hopping inside of this tower. I think Beastie should be able to burn this down. He's got how many donzos here? 13 donzos should be enough to burn this down. Gonna have to see. Some villagers are going to be going down as well. Yeah, there it is. And unfortunately for Casper, his mass is nowhere near. That is going to be 5 villagers gone, and Beastie should be able to return just in time. He may want to get out. He's got to get over here. He might want to build one down here. But we can see Beastie can just return right there. So we'll take a look at the villager count again. Casper's still ahead by 6 villagers now. But that's all right. Beastie manages to pick a few off. We see here. What is Casper doing? It's a bit of a wall fest over here. Look at this. Casper building a wall. Beastie building a wall and another wall. Definitely interesting to see there. Not really sure why Casper's walling this up, to be honest. I'm a little bit confused here, Casper. What's the plan? You helping Beastie wall for you? Definitely interesting there. We do have one Donzo here to take out that villager. And now Beastie's going to be pushing it. Look at the Donzo mass. I mean, that is an insane mass right there. 23 Donzos with 25 javelins. I mean, that's a pretty good unit mass right there. And I mean, for Casper over here, he's got a pretty decent mass as well. 10 knights and 30 archers right there as well. But I feel like this unit composition for Beastie is just so good. I mean, sure, if those javelin throwers were archers, I'd be like, oh, I think this is a pretty good composition for Casper. But H2 javelin throwers are just so good. All you need is a good tanky line, front line, which is exactly what these Donzos do. We see more villagers for Casper are going to be going down. The Donzos do use their ability, though, onto those villagers, which could be useful later on. However, I've completely missed this. Casper's gone up with the Royal Institute, and we can see Royal Bloodlines is now being upgraded. And this could be bad for Beastie. We've already got the veterancy upgrades in for the archers and the knights. Beastie ages up behind this as well, but his units are out of position right now. Beastie needs to tech up these units up as quickly as he possibly can, because this could be terrible for Beastie. We see the Royal Knights are going to be going in. The Royal Bloodlines is up. Beastie's been walled in. This could be absolutely terrible for Beastie. We see knights are going to be charging into the archers, into the javelin riders, javelin throwers, sorry. I'm still a little bit struggling with the names. And 10 Royal Knights still alive right now. Archers focusing down the Donzos. The veterancy upgrades comes in for the javelin throwers. But the javelin throwers are being completely cleaned up by the knights right here. I mean, look at the HP on those guys. 310 HP for each knight. And all of the Donzos are down. I mean, that's a bit of a throw from Beastie QT. We'll take a look at the villager right now. I mean, Casper's only ahead by 1, but he's definitely ahead when it comes to the mass. And it seems like Casper's going to be committing to the H3 play here. Tends to be what you go for once you go up with the Royal Bloodlines, or the Royal Institute for the Royal Bloodlines. Beastie's going to be able to catch some nice little idle time here. I doubt he's going to be able to burn this down in time. And we can see that age up did come through. It was the Grand Falani Coral. It's going to be boosting up all of these cattle around here. And Beastie's going to be going for a 3rd town center now. It's a bit of a late town center at the 20-minute mark, but I guess if you're falling behind in military, you need to keep that economic lead. However, we do have a keep drop coming down from Casper. I think Beastie, yeah, he's almost good enough for a keep drop of his own. He may want to drop that somewhere. Try and screw up some of this mid-map before Casper gets to it. But look at this mass for Casper. I mean, he's still got a ton of knights here. Beastie could be in some trouble. All veterancy upgrades are in, though, for Beastie. So we're going to have to see what he decides to just transition into, because I think he's going to need some siege out relatively soon. We have got no siege workshop down yet. But he definitely might need to invest in some, because for Casper, if he builds one mangonel, Beastie's composition is going to be looking pretty useless there. Javelin throwers are going to be absolutely suicided right there into the Royal Knights. Archer's going to be taking their shots onto the Donzo as well. This keep is going to be going up. Beastie's just throwing away so many units right now. It's not looking good for him at all. Casper's got a pretty nice position here. And once this keep goes up, a Trebuchet, some Mangonels are probably going to be going up. We have it with Siege Workshop all the way back here, which is interesting. And once we got a Trebuchet and a Mangonel out, I mean, Beastie might be in some trouble here. Casper can slowly push forward more and more. These are some low knights, though, for Casper. Has he got Chivalry in yet? He has got Chivalry, so he may just want to make sure he doesn't lose these guys, because they're a little bit low on HP right now. And now we're starting to see some archery ranges being built around the keep right here. And unfortunately for the French, their arbalests are not going to be doing as well here as against other civilizations, because there's no heavy units. I mean, I guess you got the Sofa, but there's no sort of men-at-arm unit for the Malians. So arbalests are not going to be doing the best here. But I mean, Casper's not taking a great fight here. Javelin throwers are going to be doing pretty well up against these archers, and unfortunately the Royal Knight Mass here is not enough up against 16 Donzos, and this keep might be a dowd keep right here. I have a feeling it is. There's not enough villagers here. However, a Mangonel is coming in right now. Casper, he's going to be losing all of his villagers though. The Royal Knight is going to be charging in. Mangonel shot comes in. Get some nice shots onto the Donzos, but you really want that Mangonel focusing down the Javelin throwers, as the Javelin throwers are the unit that take bonus damage versus the Mangonel. We're going to get a nice shot off there. That's going to be some good damage. Is the keep going to be going up? We got 2 villagers left. I don't think it is. 1 villager. And there it goes. And we got more villagers being pulled though. 12 villagers coming in right now for Casper. A nice shot still coming through from this Mangonel, but Beastie's mass is just looking so huge right now. I mean, his economy behind this is absolutely booming. The keep is going to be going up though. Casper's definitely got the military advantage right now, and he's got the keeps up as well, so he'll be looking pretty decent here. He's got it on top of the production here. Casper looking pretty decent, but Beastie's economy is just looking so good right now. He's on 111 builds compared to Casper's 85. And he's also got all of these cattle, which are boosted up by this landmark. And he's also got all of these pit mines up as well. I mean, he's looking pretty decent there. And we've got another keep drop over here. This isn't going to be going up for Casper, though. Where's his army at? His army, yeah, I don't think this is going to get there in time. There we go. The keep does get cancelled. Second Mangonel is out for Casper. Now we've got a bit of a keep in the base for Beastie here, looking to just try and defend this position a little bit. And we also have a Trebuchet out for him as well, just going to be slowly sieging down this keep. Casper's got a good position right now, but Beastie is still very much in this. Second Trebuchet comes out as well. I mean, so far, Beastie's a little bit of his production's been cut off here, but his economy has just been left completely fine over here. Over here, and then over here as well. Beastie's got a ton of stone in the bank right now. He may want to drop down even a second keep, maybe like over here somewhere. He may just want to secure up this gold here, or maybe even he's already done so over here. And Casper's going to be going for a bit of a cheeky keep. That could be denying the whole gold mine right there, especially if he grabs his Springald emplacement or cannon emplacement when he reaches age 4 there. That's a big Mangonel mass right there. How many Mangonels does Casper have? 3. Wow, okay. We've also got some Springalds coming out as well. I'm surprised we don't have Beastie making any Springalds yet. We have a bit of a raid coming through from Casper with these knights. Unfortunately, they're not going to be doing too much. Javelin thrower is still doing pretty decent damage up against these Royal Knights. I mean, when they're in the mass like this, they can still do some decent damage. And that keep for Casper is going to be going down. We've got 1 Springald out here for Casper as well. But unfortunately, that keep has already gone down. So Casper is going to have to pull back to his primary keep over here. He's still looking in a pretty decent position, but Beastie's done a good job just holding this back. A Wallalo going to be going off over here. Beastie should... Oh, no, that keep's not going up. I mean, it might be if Casper targets down the Imam here. I think this goes down. I think this goes down. That is such a shame for Beastie. 5 villagers there. I mean, that's going to be a close one, especially with the knights running around like that. If this goes up, that could be pretty huge for Beastie. Oh, so close. So close, Beastie. We can just see here, Beastie's mass still looking pretty decent. Beastie's still got the score lead. I mean, the Malians here are looking so damn good up against the French. And Casper's a top tier player as well with these French with the French civilization. I feel like the Malians here just a pretty good matchup for the French. Or a pretty good matchup for the Malians up against the French, I should say. I mean, Arbalest aren't going to be doing too much here. And the Knights aren't going to be too effective up against the Donzo mass here. So I feel like this is a pretty good matchup because all of the unique units for the French are just pretty terrible up against the units that the Malians can make. And then the Malian economy is sort of unmatched at the moment, I would say. I mean, they can just boom so heavily with the cattle, with the pit mines. And they can pretty easily get multiple town centers as well with the Mansa Quarry, which finally has been switched over to gold for Beastie. Still has 1,500 stone in the bank. And we see what is going on here. What is this? What is this? Beastie and Casper are going to be building a keep at the same time. Both keeps get up. What is this? What? Interesting. They both got boiling oil as well. This is so weird. I've never seen this before. Both keeps go up at the same time. I'm kind of speechless. That's kind of crazy. 15 villagers in both of these right now. Beast is grabbing his sprinkled emplacement as well. He's already got boiling oil. I think he wins this fight in the long run here. That's pretty funny. Yeah, I mean, actually, I take that back. Casper's got some trebuchets here. I think he'll be taking that down. However, Beastie's also moving up here as well. That is crazy to see. And all the villagers go down because of the boiling oil. Casper losing so many villagers that he may as well kept the villagers inside. Especially now with these trebuchets here as well. And Beastie is going to be aging up behind this as well. Where's that landmark coming in? There it is. It's going to be the Griot Borough. Going to be able to give him some nice little festivals there. Gives him some abilities he can use to buff up some units or economic things. I think you can buff up siege, your units, or like farming, I think. Some huge mangonel shots coming off right there. Beastie needs to get a couple more sprinkles out. Donzo's going to be targeting down those knights right there. Beastie needs to be careful of these mangonels. Big mangonel shots going up onto the villagers. Javelin throwers are still they're still alive pretty much. Beastie now ages up. He needs to be careful here. Big shots go off onto those javelin throwers. Maybe Beastie wants to pull some villagers here. Try and take down this stuff, but Beastie's not looking too good here. That keep does go down and stays alive for Casper. Villagers here might be able to take it down. We see the trebuchets on the back line are able to do so. You know that double keeps going on the thumbnail. And now we can see Beastie's just going to be trying to remass back here. But this army's looking pretty good for Casper. However, Casper is still an age behind right now. Looking to just stick to age 3, going all in, just constantly producing these archers and siege. I assume we got lots more knights on the way as well. Luckily for Beastie, he's an age ahead. He may want to get in his elite upgrades there. We see them in the queue at the moment, so he doesn't really want to be taking many fights now. He's kind of sacrificing his sprinkles right now. He manages to take out a mangonel. Almost taking out second run right there. I mean, only one left right now. I think Beastie can take a fight under one mangonel. 4 sprinkled still alive for Casper. Casper needs to be careful. We see another one going down. We got a culverin out. We got 2 culverin for Beastie out. And they're going to be easily taking down out all of the siege right here for Casper. And this is looking better and better for Beastie. Suddenly when all of the siege disappears is for Casper right there. Beastie's in such a better position. And I'm not really sure why the Malians have culverin. For balance reasons, I don't think they should have the culverin. I mean, they're just so good late game with this culverin. Because I mean, their main composition kind of falls at the hands of siege, and they've got culverin, which is the perfect anti-siege unit. So kind of surprised to see they do have the culverin. Maybe that's something we see get removed in the in the full release of the Season 3 with these civs. But we do see Casper's going to be aging up as well. It's going to be the Red Palace over here, securing himself up. Quite a bit of gold and a stone mine right here. Not looking too bad at all. Beastie Cutie's been losing quite a few villagers here. Luckily, he does have the trebuchet taking down this keep. Beastie's looking better and better. He can slowly push forwards out now. 2 trebuchets, 2 culverin, and a decent mass of javelin throws right here. Only 10 donzos, though. He definitely needs to mass up more of those guys. I mean, right now, Casper's Night Mass is looking pretty decent, especially if he gets his elite upgrade in as well. We'll take a look. Okay, Beastie also going for biology on the universe. Okay, is Beastie doing like a mass cavalry switch? I don't see any stables coming out yet. Interesting that Beastie decides to go for the biology. I mean, going for a mass sofa switch could be pretty decent in this situation. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. But we see Casper here just continuing to build up that Royal Night Mass. He's not grabbed the elite status for them yet. We'll take a look. See, how far away is he? He's grabbing the Veterancy Horseman upgrade. I think Casper might be struggling a little bit on the gold right now. We see here, Beastie Cutie is just going to be slowly pushing forwards. This could be pretty bad for Beastie. He's got not a lot down here. I mean, this is where his whole economy is right now. Beastie needs to get up some stone walls or something here. He's trying to go for a bit of a stone wall here, but this could be pretty bad for Beastie. He needs to pull his force over here, really. We see Casper's identified where Beastie's main economy is, and he's going to take advantage of that. See, Beastie's army is going to be retreating back home. Bombard and Trebuchet staying on the front line here. I mean, this could be pretty good for Casper to just try and take out some of this siege. Beastie Cutie is here in time. Those donzos are going to be engaging onto the knights. Casper still not got the elite upgrade for the knights. He's grabbing the elite upgrade for the horsemen. So maybe Casper looks to go into just elite horsemen now. Maybe the knights are a little bit too gold heavy for him at the moment. Donzo's going to be just retreating back for now, letting the javelin throwers do their thing onto the archers. Pretty efficient fight there for Beastie. Especially with the keep on the backline, grabbing his cannon emplacements right now. Culverin are also here, going to be able to take some good shots onto the Culverin. It seems like Casper is just going to have to retreat back with these for now. You see here, Beastie is trying to get up a bit of a wall. I mean, if you can secure up this area here with stone walls, he'll be looking in a pretty decent position to try and push out forwards this way. But then again, Casper's also grabbing his walls up behind this as well. A little bit of a raid here with elite donzos. Casper's going to be going for a little bit of a keep drop, but Beastie should be able to stop this. We have a couple of archers on the way, so maybe that keep does go up. I mean, not really a big deal for Casper, to be honest. Bit of an overreaction there, in my opinion, with a keep drop, but I guess it's good for the later game anyway. Casper is also going to be denied that sacred site. And now those stone walls are going to be finished. I mean, the horsemen are here as well. Beastie should have just kept a couple donzos back just in case this sort of situation happens. Just having a couple donzos here just to push away the horsemen. Because we can see again, those stone walls are not going to be going up. And Beastie really needs to secure up some more of this wood. I think he's struggling a little bit on the wood right now. He's got no wood left. These are the 2 wood pockets he's got. And he's got this one over here. So he definitely wants to secure up this area right now. Horseman tried to run in there. Unfortunately, not going to be doing too much. Donzo's just way too effective up against those horsemen. Beastie Cutie's mass is looking pretty decent. Look at that, 48 javelin throwers. But this is a huge mass of horsemen. Fortunately for Beastie, he's got quite a few donzos here, but I don't know if it's enough. Especially with this mass coming in from behind as well, with some more royal knights and archers in there as well. You can see Beastie is just going to be retreating back for a little bit. But that's a huge mass of horsemen right there. And Beastie may be losing quite a bit of siege right here. And there's still a hole in the base. More horsemen are going to be running into the base, and this could be terrible for Beastie. I mean, look at it. He's got his whole economy back here, pretty much. He's also got a ton of... Uh-oh. What is this? What is going on? I feel like this might have something to do with the fact Beastie grabbed biology. Have we got some sort... Oh, no. This is awesome. Okay, so Beastie Cutie is going to be going for veterans. Has he got the elite upgrade yet? He's grabbing the elite upgrade. He's just going to be spamming these guys out. I mean, we've seen mass scouts before, but how has no one thought of this yet? We've seen landmark snipes with regular scouts, but with the Malians, you can upgrade them to an elite status. These guys are so cheap, and they're going to be doing so much attack. Beastie is going for the cheese play right now, up against Casper. This could be pretty cool. I mean, look at this. Look how many stables he's producing right now. I would assume this has got to be a landmark snipe, right? I mean, look at the health on those guys. 156 HP, and the elite upgrade hasn't even come in yet. We'll take a look. I mean, this is a pretty poor fight for Beastie here, but I don't think it matters. I think he's kind of sacrificing these guys. He's like, oh no, my army. Then he's just got this on the way. And look at the 186 HP. And he's got all of his blacksmith upgrades on those guys as well. This could be a pretty cool landmark snipe right here. You can see the warrior scouts are on the way to the front line right now. So it seems like he's not going to be massing them up. Right? He might be massing them up here. He's going to be pulling them forward now. He definitely needs a bit of a front line. He doesn't want to be losing all of this siege here. Here are the warrior scouts on the way. I mean, they're still a pretty decent unit. I mean, despite them being a scout, these guys have a ton of HP, and they still have a lot of attack right there. I mean, look at that. 14 attack right there. For a scout that costs 90 food, it's absolutely ridiculous. You can see, look at the amount of damage they do. That is some crazy damage, and they're so tanky. Well, they're not ridiculously tanky, but they're still decently tanky for the price that they are. And look at the warrior scouts coming out from Beastie. That is a huge number of them right there. And they're just going to be able to tank all of this here from the knights and let the keep on the backline do its thing. Unfortunately for Beastie, that siege is going to be going down, but look at the constant, the rush of warrior scouts right now. I mean, that's a pretty crazy number right there. And I mean, Beastie can just spam these out. He doesn't have that many on food. I'm not sure what's happened to his farming economy over here. I think it got killed by all of those horsemen. So Beastie may want to get some of those wood choppers onto food right now. But I mean, look at the constant production of these guys. And these guys are just going to be able to run into the economy. It doesn't really matter if they die. And we can see here, Beast is going to be taking down this keep as well with the bombard on the back line as well. Still got a pretty decent army of javelin throwers as well to deal with any archers. Donzos here as well, 18 Donzos. And we can see this keep is going to be going down to all of these scouts. And I mean, but what's it called? Boiling oil is in for Casper, so he's going to be doing some decent damage here. But that's another thing. These scouts regenerate health. Look how fast they regenerate health. What is that? What is that? That is absolutely crazy. This seems a little bit ridiculous. I mean, look how fast they regenerate health. Is that because of their elite status? Is that part of the upgrade? Because that is some ridiculous upgrades or regeneration speed right there. And I mean, look at all of the scouts coming forward right now. That keeps going to be going down. Another shot from the bombard and it should be down. Still lots of Royal Knights coming to the front line for Casper. But I mean, look at all of these warrior scouts. I think we got to change the thumbnail, guys. I think we got to have it to this. However cool that keep was over there, this is even cooler. I mean, these guys seem a little bit powerful. We can just look how fast that regenerates. That's kind of crazy. But Beastie Cutie is out of food right now. So maybe he's gone a little bit too heavy on these guys. I mean, this is kind of the thing you want to do ultra late game when you've only got food left. But I mean, this is still looking pretty good for BC. Look at all of these warrior scouts coming out. I mean, they just take such good fights up against any unit here. I mean, these are elite royal knights up against a scout that costs 90 gold. 90 food, sorry. I mean, that is absolutely wild. Those scouts are going to be cleaned up on the back line. And GG gets called. Casper realizes that he probably can't win from here. I mean, he's starting to run out of gold as well, so it makes sense. Well, there you guys have it. The ultimate scout, whatever you would call this. Wow. All right. So if you did enjoy this, guys, please do feel free to leave a like, and I'll catch you in the next one. What a game that was.